Hello friends, I am Dr. Vikas Maheswari. Here I am going to discuss about the first lecture of IC technology, or it is also called as a VLSI technology. If we talk about the total syllabus of this subject, it can be characterized in 8 or 9 modules. First module refer to silicon wafer preparation, epitaxial growth, oxidation, photolithography, diffusion, ionization technique, metallization, assembly, processing, and packaging. So these are the 9 modules that I am going to discuss in this complete syllabus of VLSI technology. But in this first lecture, I will discuss about the introduction to VLSI technology. So these are the following topics to discuss in this lecture. First topic is what is the integrated circuits, the structure of the integrated circuit. Third one is evolution of the integrated circuit, type of the integrated circuit based on application and based on the fabrication technology, advantage and disadvantage of the using of integrated circuit in our electronic design. So first of all, basically, what is the integrated circuit? So integrated circuit or IC is a miniature electronic device consisting of active and passive components that are irreparably joined together on a single crystal chip of silicon that is called wafer. Functionality related to a particular in which all the components or devices are electrically interconnected. Let us go to the first slide. I have discussed all about the designing process of the integrated circuit. So based on the requirement, system specifications are collected and some discussion is based on that. Some programming or some back-end circuit design is done. If we are going to design a digital circuit, so we have to write down a programming either in Verilog or VHDL. After that, we have to do some physical synthesis and simulation also. Based on that, this circuit tool, either we are using Xilinx, Cadence, Pentagraphics, these tools will generate the circuit that is called circuit designing. From that we will get the information. So based on this circuit designing, physical design is done. Based on that we will define the specific area for a different portion of the ICs, like position of the analog module, digital module, RF module, how these modules are interconnected. All these things are done in the physical design. After doing the physical design, basically that is called placement and routing. Okay, after the placement and routing process, we'll go for the physical verification and sign off. That consists of DRC, LV, design rule check, that will check the errors in the layout, because after the physical design we will draw the layout of the IC. So that layout rule will contain so many parameter. Based on that this DRC is done. LVS, layout versus schematic. Once layout is perfectly designed, this layout is compared with the schematic that we got through the circuit design process. Once there is a 100% match in between layout and schematic, then we go for the extraction parameter of the circuit, of calculating the parasitic capacitances and resistances. That will help us to find out the critical path for the delay calculation and other things. After physical verification and sign off, fabrication process comes into the picture. That is the basic focus of our subject, VLSI technology or IC fabrication technology. In fabrication technology, we use all the modules, all the concept that I discussed. 8 or 9 topics are related to the IC fabrication topic. Once fabrication of IC is completed, then packaging and testing is the remaining. So you can see testing is one of the important part that consume a lot of design cycle time. I will discuss what is the design cycle time. Once any IC is tested and found perfect, then it will be encapsulated in plastic packaging, and in that way chip is ready for the market. Now coming to the evolution of the integrated circuit. Till now 8 or 9 type of the era we have seen in the designing of the integrated circuit. First is the SSI. It stands for small scale integration. In this integration, 3 to 30 gate per chip are fabricated, or if we talk about the component, around few tens of component are to be mounted on a single chip, single piece of silicon, that is called wafer. For example, I have shown the diagram of the Philip TAA320. This IC is containing around tens of component on a chip, very less number of component inside the IC. Now coming to the MSI, medium small integration. That medium scale integration consists of 30 to 300 gates per chip, or you can say 100 to 1000 transistor per chip. So MSI devices were less expensive and allowed more complex system in very less space. As we see in the same area, we are connecting so many devices. So many devices or so many transistor means so much functionality can be provided in a small area. So it is less expensive comparable to the MSI. For example, counter, multiplexer and adders are designed under the MSI. Okay, some figures also shown in the slide. Okay, next is the LSI, large scale integration. In this technique, 300 to 3000 gates per chip, or you can say 1000 to 20,000 transistor per chip, are mounted on a same size of the silicon wafer. Here in the technique, we can provide much more functionality in the same area. If, for example, 8-bit microprocessor, ROM, RAM are fabricated by using the LSI technique. For example, I have shown the slide of in the slide I have shown the circuit diagram for the 1 kilobyte RAM. This is an example of a LSI device. Next is the VLSI. It stands for very large scale integration. So this is the main process of creating an integrated circuit by combining thousands of transistors into a single chip. So in this technique, more than 3000 gates per chip, or in terms of transistor, if we say 20,000 to 10 lakh transistor per chip can be mounted on a same single crystal of silicon or wafer in the same area. For example, special processor, 16 and 30-bit microprocessor, CPU, ROM, RAM and other glue logic devices are fabricated by using VLSI technology. So our IC technology or VLSI fabrication technology is total all about the fabrication and encapsulation of the VLSI circuits only. In VLSI technology, we can input very large amount of the transistors in a single chip that provide a large amount of the functionality into the chip, and in that case cost of the manufacturing of the IC is very less comparable to the SSI, MSI and LSI. Next is the ULSI, that stands for ultra large scale integration. In this technique, 10 to the power 6 to 10 to the power 7 transistors per chip are integrated. For this technology, a special processor, virtual reality machine and smart sensors are fabricated or designed. Or you can say it is an IC with more than 1 million components per chip are connected inside a IC. Next is the SoC, system on chip. It's an integrated circuit that integrates all the components of a computer or other electronic system into a single chip. Till now in VLSI, SSI, MSI, we have seen that particular ICs are fabricated in a small ICs, but in this technique, entire electronic system can be fabricated on a single chip that may contain digital, analog, mixed signal and sometimes radio frequency functionality on a single chip substrate. So SoCs are very common to the mobile applications because it consumes very less power and cost of the SoC systems are very less. So these type of the ICs are used in the area of the embedded system, typical embedded system where we have to provide a high amount of the functionality within a short amount of the area on a chip. Next is a WSI, wafer scale integration. This is very rarely used technique on which entire circuit network is fabricated over a complete silicon wafer to produce a single super chip. So basically it dramatically reducing the cost for some system, especially for parallel supercomputers, and most of the research is also going on in this area. So WSI based chip are also called as a super chip. It contains the entire circuit network, or you can say entire computer network on a single wafer. Next is the 3D IC. It stands for 3-dimensional integrated circuit. This is the new way of fabricating a IC in a small area by stacking a layer of wafers one upon the other and interconnecting them vertically through silicon vias. We can provide much more higher performance by reducing the power dissipation. For that purpose, small footprint can also be used in the conventional 2-dimensional process. So as shown in the figure, you can see so many multi-chips can be stacked in a vertical manner and all are connected through the silicon vias. Same area, we can provide much more functionality than the conventional ICs. Okay, as we are connecting the silicon wafer in a vertical statement magnet. So 3D IC is just one of the host of the 3D integration scheme that exploit the jet direction to achieve electrical performance benefits. In that way, electrical performance of the IC is increased because it consumes a very less amount of the area, and high performance device can be designed by using this 3D IC technique. Now coming to the type of the integrated circuit. So here we talk about the bifurcation of the integrated circuit based on the application. So based on the application, we are having a different type of the IC like digital integrated circuit. So as we know that the digital integrated circuit deals only two defined level 1 and 0 based on the binary mathematics of Boolean algebra. So they can contain million of logic gates, flip-flops, etc. integrated on a single chip. Okay, for example, microprocessor and microcontrollers are the example of the digital ICs. Memories, shift registers, counters are also the example of the digital integrated circuit, or you can say the ICs. Now coming to the analog integrated circuit. So analog integrated circuit work by processing continuous signal, analog signal. They perform functions such as filtering, amplification, modulation, demodulation, and other analog applications. For example, sensors, op-amps are the analog ICs. Perform certain type of the task related to the continuous signal. Now coming to the mixed signal integrated circuit that combines the functionality of the digital integrated circuit and analog integrated circuit. This is the another type of the integrated circuit that combines the functionality of the digital and analog type of the functionality. Now coming to the microprocessor integrated circuit, composed of millions of transistors that have been configured as thousands of individual digital circuits, each of which perform some specific logic functions. So basically, microprocessors are designed to perform a specific task. This type of the IC are called ASIC IC, Application Specific Integrated Circuit, in which thousands of individual circuits are inbuilt or fabricated to perform a specific functionality. Now coming to the memory integrated circuit. So memory is composed of dense array of parallel circuits that use their voltage states to store information. Memory also stores the temporary sequence of instruction or program for the microprocessor. So basically, what is the memory? Memory will store the required information in the terms of the voltage. So it is an array of the parallel circuit. Basically, we are using MOS devices as a capacitor that will store the energy in terms of the energy or information in terms of the voltage. The particular MOS capacitor is charged, it is considered as storing 1, otherwise is storing as a 0. For sensing the voltage and some information, we are using the sense amplifiers in the memory integrated circuit. They are also designed under the memory integrated circuit technique. And these types of the memory IC circuits are the RAM. Okay, that will provide an interface in between the microprocessor and the main memory that will store the instruction that may decode that RAM IC is divided in two parts, instruction IC and the program IC. So by using this temporary IC or RAM IC, this microprocessor is interacting with the main memory that contains all the instruction and programs and required information. That ASIC IC may be of analog or digital type that contains a specific application only. These are not reconfigurable. Once they are fabricated for a particular function, they will perform only one specific purpose function. For example, a speed controller IC to do one job and could never become a processor. One IC that is defined especially for automobile sector to perform some specific task in the automobile component that cannot be used in. Next is the radio frequency integrated circuit. It's a different type of the radio integrated circuit technique that is most important in the terms of the cellular phones and pages. So these ICs are working in the frequency range of 900 megahertz to 2.4 gigahertz. In terms of the frequency 900 million hertz to 2.4 billion hertz. These are also type of the ASIC IC, but difference is that they can be configurable as per the application for several types. But ASIC IC, application specific ICs are designed and fabricated especially only for one task that cannot be configurable. But these radio frequency ICs can be configurable for multiple times for several similar type of the application. Microwave lithic integrated circuit. It's a special type of the RFIC generally used for the microwave application. It is also monolithic IC that is basically called MMIC, microwave monolithic IC. These circuits run in the range of the frequency in between 2.4 GHz to 20 GHz. Basically, these frequency range is used for microwave frequencies. These type of the ICs are having application in radar system, satellite communication, power amplifier and cellular telephone. So microwave monolithic IC is also type of the ASIC IC, okay, just like RFIC. Now we are moving towards the type of the integrated circuit based on the fabrication technology. So based on the fabrication technology, it is again divided in two parts. First one is the monolithic IC and second is the hybrid or multi-chip IC. Again, multi-chip IC are bifurcated in two type of the section, thin and thick film IC, based on their deposition methods. So we'll see what is the monolithic IC. If we see the monolithic word, this word is originated from the Greek word monos meaning single and lithos meaning stone. Means entire integrated circuit made in a single piece of single crystal silicon. So as we see, the slide also is discussed, monolithic circuit is built into a single stone or single crystal, or in monolithic ICs, all the circuit component and their interconnections are formed into or on the top of a single chip of silicon. Monolithic ICs are very far the most common type of the IC used in the practice because of the mass production, lower cost and high reliability. As entire circuitry and their interconnection are made on a single crystal silicon, so fabrication of the monolithic IC is very much easier comparable to the other type of the ICs. In that case, we can produce it in mass production. Because of that, cost will be reduced. The entire circuitry is fabricated or mounted on a single piece of silicon, so it increases the reliability of the circuit. This is the most advanced type of the ICs called hybrid ICs. Basically, this is the interconnection of so many individual monolithic or some other individual type of the ICs. These type of the ICs are widely used for high power audio amplifier applications that provide better performance than the monolithic ICs, because we can include so many monolithic functionality IC or so many other ICs in a hybrid IC. But these type of the IC having a very expensive for the mass production is also hybrid IC is also bifurcated in two type of the ICs, thin and thick film IC. So these type of the hybrid ICs are very much larger size comparable to the monolithic IC, but having very smaller size than the discrete circuit. So these thin and thick film ICs are used when power requirement is comparatively higher. Okay, with a thin or thick film IC, passive component like resistor and capacitor are integrated. But if we need a transistor, diodes, transformer and inductor in the IC, that is not possible to fabricate by using the IC technology. These are connected as a discrete component to form a complete circuit. Now coming to the thin and thick film IC concept. So in the appearance, property and general characteristics, both of the thin and thick film ICs are very much similar to each other. Difference is the manufacturing process that used to manufacture the thick and thin film IC. That is basically because of the method for the deposition of the film over the substrate. Thick film IC are fabricated on a ceramic substrate by patterning resistor and interconnection. Thin film IC are fabricated on a glass or glazed ceramic semiconductor by using vacuum evaporation deposition technique. So this is the difference between the thick and thin film IC technology. But in appearance, property and general characteristics, both ICs are looking very much similar to each other. Now we are going to discuss about the advantage of the integrated circuit. One of the important advantages of the integrated circuit is the reliability. As we see that all the component and circuits are integrated in a IC and connected through a interconnection wire. So no soldering wire are used. In that case, reliability of the integrated circuit is increased comparable to the discrete component. Second is the device size. Because of the fabrication technology, this IC is having much more smaller size comparable to the discrete component. So integrated circuit thus consume much less space than discrete component. You see a discrete transistor, NPN transistor, PNP transistor. In that a small area, entire IC can be designed and fabricated. Now you can compare the sizes of the IC and the discrete component. And another advantage of the IC is that in the IC we are using silicon dioxide layer during the manufacturing process. This layer is very rough and tough, and it's a very good isolating material that provide isolation between the different component mounted on a same chip, and it provides the integration and ability to operate at extreme high temperature, extreme environmental condition also. As we see that entire internal circuitry is encapsulated in an integrated circuit and packaged in a plastic package or another package, providing a external pins that reduce the number of the external connections. So this has greatly simplified the layout of the circuit and make them easier to use. So in that case, area of the entire circuitry can be utilized in a proper manner. Basically, integrated circuit are using very less power for every operation. That's the another important advantage of the IC over the discrete component. Now coming to the disadvantage of the integrated circuit. As we discussed in the previous slide, that entire circuitry is inbuilt integrated circuit. In a thousand of component, if suppose any one of the component is not working properly, then entire IC will not work. In that case, we have to replace the entire IC, not the component. Integrated circuit have limited capacitances also. If we want to use some more amount of the capacitances, we have to use it as an external component, and it is not possible to fabricate transformer or any other kind of the inductor in the IC. If we want to use transformer and inductor, we have to use it as an external component. One of the important thing is the power that integrated circuit and can produce is limited and call for the extension. Suppose any IC is requiring 1.5 volt or 1.8 volt. For that purpose, we have to provide a different power set to fulfill the requirement of the IC. And another is disadvantage of the IC is integrated circuits are not flexible. Because once integrated circuit is fabricated and designed, you can't change the parameter of the circuit, you can't change the operation of the circuit or IC, or you can't modify the component of the IC. We found numeral advantages of the ICs over disadvantages. That's why in most of the circuitry in advanced era, ICs are mostly used in the designing of the electronic circuit.